Is SEO on Etsy gonna become irrelevant? Etsy just announced in its 2023 Quarter 3 investors call that Etsy search is going to be moving beyond relevance, which is partly our tags and titles. So is SEO going to become obsolete in the future? And what can we do about that? The Etsy's Quarter 3 financials report was out last week, or probably 2 weeks ago by the time I launched this video. And rather than a big digest, I decided that there are some points in this that everyone is worrying and speculating about. So it'd be best if I did a deep dive into some of the issues raised in separate, shorter videos rather than a several-hour dump of ideas. This is the first video, and of course in the next I'll be covering how much money Etsy actually made, if it's more profitable or less profitable. And more importantly for Etsy sellers, was this as tough a quarter as many of our stats are suggesting? So if you want to know about that, then you might want to consider subscribing to make sure you don't miss that video. But back to today's subject, is SEO going to become irrelevant? Many people noticed something Josh said in the presentation: we're moving beyond relevance. And I've seen loads of people in the forums and groups worrying that this means that relevance is no longer going to be important. So I want to dig into what is going on here. Is relevance already irrelevant? Is it going to become irrelevant? And hence, yes, sort of. And what's that going to mean for all our keyword strategies moving forwards? Firstly, I want to quickly explain how search engines work at Etsy, so we're all kind of on the same page with what relevance means. If you've already heard this, please skip ahead. When someone searches on Etsy, the algorithms have to sort through millions of listings to try and show results to the potential buyer. You kind of think of this in 3 steps. The first step is the dumb algorithm. It quickly grabs every single listing that it thinks might be even a little suitable based on what the title, tags and categories of the listing. This was actually almost what the Etsy search used to be in the very beginning. All those listings were then only ranked by age, and all of them shown to the potential buyer. That, as I'm sure you can imagine, quickly became terrible, with the listings shown at the top of search just being the ones that the shop owners could renew often enough. So then relevancy came in around 2010. From that first dumb step, the next algorithm comes in and ranks the listings based on how good it thinks they are, based on factors like the title and tags. Etsy actually explains relevance in the Ultimate Guide to Search. And over time, there were more layers added to this, factors like the listing quality score and the shop standing on Etsy. Finally, there's been an extra layer of tweaking added called personalizations, and this has been in place for a good few years now. This algorithm takes the top 1,000 ranked listings on Etsy for the keyword and then personalizes based on factors about the user searching, like what other searches they've performed in the past, their location, and many other things. So already it seems that relevance might have been a little less important to many people. I kind of disagree though, as this personalizations algorithm is only the final tweak on top of the listings that have already been ranked in the first algorithms before they're fine-tuned with those personalizations. And now Josh is talking about further personalizing the Etsy search results. The quote that many people are running with is, "We're moving beyond relevance to the next frontier of search, focused on better identifying the quality of each listing, utilizing humans and machine learning technology," which is people speculating that the reason the Etsy search is currently so bad is because relevance is no more, and AI is picking what should be in the search and ignoring keywords and just guessing what people want. I do agree that the search results are pretty terrible, but I don't think this is really yet because of the AI, and I don't think relevance is leaving us quite yet either. The rest of Josh's quote continues with, "So that from a highly relevant results set, we bring the very best of Etsy to the top, personalized to what we understand of your tastes and preferences." So to me, that's actually saying that machine learning is only going to be applied to those listings that have been selected by relevance already. This makes total sense. In the Crafters Code Etsy blog, where their developers blog about things, They told us that ranking by personalization is computationally very expensive, so they only do this on the top 1,000 listings as picked out by the first steps. So basically, the top 1,000 most relevant listings. So if even more complicated personalizations are being added, I can't see why they would be planning to take the additional time and expense for every search to try and apply them to millions of random listings. It makes sense to apply them to relevant results. And it seems Josh is saying that. From a highly relevant results set, we bring the very best of Etsy to the top. To me, that is saying that's refining the listings that have already been picked out, so it's the most relevant ones. But not only that, but much of his language, he's talking about the future. We are moving beyond, not we've moved beyond. And in a later quote, Josh mentions as we move into 2024 and talks about some tests that have been running. So it's possible that some people may have been in tests for some of this, but Etsy is running more and more tests every year. So if you saw something funky, it may not have even been on a test of this AI, but any other test that it's running. What Etsy has been doing that they told us last quarter they were going to be doing, and many of us saw, is they've increased the number of humans in Etsy checking out listings, giving them an Etsy pick badge. And this is to teach the AI what Etsy staff thinks of a good looking listing. And this training will be used in the new system when it rolls out. So basically, from the top 1,000 most relevant listings, the machine will rank higher the ones that it thinks are best based on what it was trained by humans. So if you got an Etsy pick badge in the last year, look at your photos, your titles, tags, etc., and know that is what Etsy thinks is noteworthy and hopefully rank-worthy listings, and see if you can duplicate that a bit in some of your other listings. But finally, another point Josh made. The reason behind this is when people search for broad keywords, like the example he's given of back to school, those are the kind of searches where a buyer doesn't know what they really want, and often the search results are pretty bad, offering lots of similar types of items. This system is designed for these very broad search terms to bring a diversity of listings so people have more options to pick from. And honestly, as I've seen some of the results pages for broad keywords being full of the same mass-produced item, I actually think this is a kind of good idea. Yep, I totally want rid of all those drop-shipped items that shouldn't be on Etsy anyway. But at least the theory now is that the AI will recognize these as similar listings and hopefully low-quality listings, and only show one of them and give more options for different things. Most smaller shops are never going to rank for these super broad keywords anyway, so most people won't really see a difference. But I hope this will mean more fun niche items will get a chance to be shown in front of these super broad keywords, so some smaller shops will do well. And if your shop is high volume, low effort items that rely on the broad keywords, then perhaps you will struggle. So this Etsy presentation might be the call to you to look into creating some more unique items, as hopefully unique will start doing better. That being said, while I have hope, I also know any new system, and specifically machine learning type systems, have really bad teething troubles. So it's not unimaginable that search is going to get worse before it gets better. But I'm happy at least relevance is still going to be important for quite a while yet to narrow down the items that are selected. And these new changes are only going to be for the most broad keywords, at least just now. So what do you think? I know most of us are pretty jaded by Etsy just now, but I think it's important to look properly into any change they're talking about and not just listen to all the doom and gloom of the people who read the worst into everything.